Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope everyone is doing well and you guys have not missed me yet. Yes, I've been away for some time, but I'm back with this tutorial. This is a tank top or bralette tutorial which can be made for all sizes. So I'll be leaving the extra information in the description box so you can go check it out. This top was made with a square bra shape type, and I know a lot of you guys do not actually use it for your project, so I just decided to surprise you with something cute using the square bra shape, and it provides more coverage for you. So if you are interested in learning, please watch and don't forget to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss out on any of my videos. So this bra top is actually inspired by Legends Couture. I'll be leaving her Instagram information in the description. She also made this white top and I decided to also make similar. It's really cute. So I'm going to teach you how to make this square bra top. But first of all, I'm using the Yeye yarn. It comes in extra and the regular. I'm using the regular one, and I will not be doubling. I'm using the lightweight. That is why I'm using a smaller hook size for this project. I got it from Accra, a craft store. If you follow me on Instagram, you can see that I always make noise about where I get my yarns. So yes, I'm using a 2 and 1/4 millimeter hook for my project. Since I told you I'm using a lightweight, you also need some stitch markers, a pair of scissors to cut off excess yarn. So without much wasting of your time, let's get right into the first step. So the very first step is to make a slip knot as usual. The very basic thing to do is to make a slip knot. So we are going to make a number of chains to cover the square top. We are working it from the down aspect to the topper aspect. Before we add some borders and then the shells. So I'm going to measure how long you are supposed to have for my size. This is supposed to be a size medium to large. This is approximately 7-inch, and that is how you are going to achieve it. And for the vertical stance, for vertically when you measure it, it's 5.5 inch. So it depends on the coverage you want, but if you want to go with mine, just follow the procedure. So as I told you, I'm going to make a basic slip knot and we are going to chain a total of 30. So after making a basic chain of 30, you are going to count to the third space and put a double crochet here. So just yarn over, count to the third space, insert your hook in the third space, pull the excess yarn, pull the yarn from the back as seen. When you have 3 on the hook, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. When you have 2 on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 2 loops. So that's how to do a double crochet. So yarn over, insert into the next space, pull the yarn from the chain. When you have 3 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So you are going to apply a double crochet in all the spaces till you get to the end of the row. So this is how your project is going to look so far. It must have this straight edge, as you can see. So this is the basic square we are going to make. For the next row, we are going to chain up a total of 2, turn over your work and put a double crochet into the next stitch. So make sure you place a double crochet on top of each double crochet till you get to the end of the row. We are maintaining a straight edge, so if you realize that you are slanting, that means you are actually skipping a stitch. And if you realize that your edges are not straight, it means maybe you are increasing. So make sure that you end the right way, and you know that the chain 2 also counts as a stitch in this case. So I'm going to double crochet all the way down and make extra rows till I fit a square shape. So I did a total of 9 rows to cover my bust portion, and this is how it's looking so far. So that's the very first basic square, and we are going to add some borders in this direction. To add some borders, you are going to turn over your work and single crochet in the next stitch. So just insert your hook into this very first into the same stitch and single crochet. So insert your hook, pull through. When you have 2 on the hook, pull through 2, chain up a total of 2, put a double crochet into the next stitch, and then double crochet till you are getting to the end of the row, and I'll show you what to do. So basically I'm going to place a stitch marker at the very edge, that's the end of the row, so that I demonstrate to you what you are supposed to do there. So getting to the end of the row, this is the last but second stitch, this is the last but one stitch, and then where the stitch marker is the very last stitch. This time I'm just going to remove the stitch marker and go inside the space and put a total of 4 double crochets there. So we are going inside the space, not on top. So this is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third, and this is the fourth one. So it allows you to slant over to work in a different direction. That is why we place a total of 4. So now I'm going to turn in this direction and then place a double crochet in each space you find. So we are going to place a total of 2 double crochets in all the big spaces you see at the edges. So you realize that each row we began with a chain 2, and that's where we are working 2 stitches inside, 2 double crochets inside that space, so that you can get to the end of the row and then begin your next row. So we are actually creating a nice cool border that gives you the shape for the square bra top. So make sure you do put 2 single crochets in each chain 2 space, which was a chain 2 space you made before beginning each row, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. So for the next row, you are going to chain up 2 again and just do the same exact thing you did, except that you are not going to put a total of 4 double crochets at where we place the total of 4. So you are just going to put a double crochet in on top of each stitch till you get to the end of the row. All you have to do is to single crochet and then chain up a total of 2, and then put a double crochet in the next space and then a double crochet in each space, till you get to where you place your total of 4. You are still going to put 1 double crochet on top of each, and then you turn to the other direction as well. So make sure you just place your double crochet swiftly till you get to where the 4 double crochets, where you are going to put a double crochet on top of each, and then just slant your work towards the other direction till you end the row. So this is where you curve to work the other stitches, And as I told you, this time we are not going to put a total of 4 like how we did for the very same exact row. You are just going to put a double crochet swiftly along till you get to the end of the row, and make sure you end the right way such that the edges are always straight for the next row. So this time we are going to add an extra border for your border, for your square borders. So this is the second one. We are going to make another row. When you end, you just chain to make another row of border, making a total of 3 for the borders, and then we work the shell design for the top. So you are going to add an extra row after you end this row, and then we begin the lace design. So for the lace design, you are going to single crochet, chain up a total of 2, put a double crochet into the next stitch and the following. After doing this, you are going to chain up a total of 2, 1, 2, skip the next 2 stitches and put a double crochet on the third stitch. So after that, you are going to place a double crochet on the next stitch and the following stitch. So that's how the repetition is going to be. You chain up 2, skip the next 2 stitch, double crochet into the third, add another stitch in the following and the stitch after. So that means you are doing 3 double crochets separated by chain 2s, and making sure you skip the next 2 stitches and then you put a double crochet in the third, the stitch after, and the following stitch. So that's how the repetition is going to be all around the borders of the stitch till you get to the end of the row. So a little disclaimer for you guys is that you must have an even number of cluster of stitches. So the 3 double crochets that you are making, you must make sure that you have an even number, or else when you are separating it for the next stage, it becomes uneven for your design, your shell design. So I had a total number of 10 for my clusters. If you have 11, you have to find a way to make it even to either 12 or you maintain the 10. So that's how I did mine, and that's how the design is supposed to be. You must have an even number of stitches in order to work the other rounds. So for the next row, you are going to single crochet in the very same stitch. So single crochet and move to the very first space, the chain 2 you made from the previous row, and put a total of 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets in the same exact space, creating a nice shell opening in this same space. So after you do that, you are going to chain up a total of 3, single crochet in the next space, just like this, and then you chain up a total of 3 once again and put a total of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in the following space. So that's how the shell pattern is going to be repetitively. That's why I insisted that you had a total number of even clusters. So after that, you chain up a total of 3, single crochet in the next stitch, and then you chain up a total of 3 once again and put a total of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in the same exact space. So that's how you are going to, you are just working in the chain 2 spaces that you made from the previous row, and basically you are going to end with a shell just like how we did. So you just chain up 3, single crochet into the next space, chain up 3, and do your total of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in the same exact space to create the shell design. And then you know what you are going to do next is the chain 3 single crochet in the next space. So just chain 3, single crochet in the next space, chain 3 again, and put a total of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in the same exact space. So you are basically going to end with a single crochet in the space, the last double crochet for the row. You turn over your work and you are going to work your next row of shell detail. So for the next row of shell detail, make sure you single crochet in the same exact space and chain up a total of 2. In the chain 2 space you made, separating the 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, you are going to put a total of 6 double crochets. So after you do that, you are going to chain up a total of 3, single crochet on top, as you can see, on top of the single crochet which separates the 2 chain 3s, chain 3 again, and then in the chain 2 separating the shell, you are going to put a total of 6 double crochets. So that's how the pattern is going to be. You put a total of 6 double crochets in the chain 2 space, and then you chain 3 single crochet on top of the single crochet that we made from the previous row, and then you chain 3 and then do your total of 6 double crochets. So you are going to chain 3 single crochet on top of that single crochet, chain 3 once again, and do your total of 6 double crochets. This is where you are going to put your total of 6 double crochets in the chain 2 space from the previous row, and basically you end with a double crochet on top of the very last stitch over there. So just swiftly end with your double crochet and chain up a total of 2 to begin the next row, which is going to be the final row for your bra cups. So this is where you are going to add the picot edging detail for the bra cup. So to add the picot edging detail, you are just going to chain up a total of 2. You are going to chain up a total of 3. Put a double crochet on the skip the next double crochet and then put a double crochet on the following. So as you can see, and then you chain up a total of 3 single crochet in the same exact space. Put a double crochet directly on top on the next stitch, chain 1 and put a double crochet on the following. Chain up a total of 3 single crochet in the same space to create the picot edging. If you can't see this, please observe clearly how I go about it. It's an easy way of adding some nice edging for your project. So this is where I place my picot edging, and then I continue with the design. So this time I'm just going to chain up a total of 3 single crochet as usual on top of the standalone single crochet, and chain up 3 again, skip the next stitch and put a double crochet on top of the following. So you realize that on top of each shell you are supposed to have a total of 3 picot edging. Chain up a total of 3 single crochet into the same space to create the picot. Place a direct double crochet on the following, chain 1, put a double crochet on the next, chain up a total of 3 single crochet in the same exact space on top, put a direct double crochet on the next stitch, chain 1 and put your final double crochet on the following, and you are going to do your last picot edging. So you chain up a total of 3 and single crochet in the same space. So you realize that we have 3 on each shell. So after that you chain up a total of 3 single crochet on top of the single crochet from the previous row, chain up 3, skip the next stitch, put a double crochet on the following, chain up 3, single crochet in the same exact space on top to create picot edging, put a double crochet directly on the next stitch, chain up 1, put a double crochet on the next stitch or the following stitch, chain up 3, create your next or second picot edging on top. So you just single crochet on top to create the picot edging, and then you put a double crochet on top of the following directly, you chain 1 and put your final double crochet on the last. You chain up a total of 3, single crochet in the same exact space, and that's how the edging is going to be on top of each shell. So I have 2 extra shells left, and I'm going to do the same exact repetition. You chain, single crochet in the middle like how we have been doing, you chain again, do your picot edging repetition like how we just did for these 3s. You can rewind if you have forgotten how to do it. So I'll meet you when I'm done with the extra 2. So I'm done with my repetition of picot edging, and now I'm going to do my very last one. So I've done my very last picot edging and I ended with a double crochet. As you can see, you always end with a double crochet to keep a straight edge, and that's how the bra cups is going to look like. So you are going to create straps, and then you are also going to do the waistband, which you are going to attach later. And then yes, basically you are almost done with the bra cups. It's you are almost done with the top when you actually do your bra cups. So I'm going to teach you how I join basically and how I work the straps as well. So I'm going to cut off my yarn with my pair of scissors, and I'm going to work the basic band for the top. So I already made a band behind the scenes when I went to work because it's a tedious process. So the band I'm going to do now is a demonstration of what I did exactly. It's actually made with half double crochets in the back loop, so it's actually simple. If you actually follow my tutorials, I mostly use it most of the times. So I'm just going to make a demonstration, but this time I'm making a shorter inch for mine, but I'm going to measure the inch I made to for mine. So when you measure it vertically, it measures about 22.5, but when you stretch, it stretches all the way to 31 inch, which is a good thing because you need the stretchy effect to provide enough coverage for your part, your top. So yes, I'm just going to do a demonstration of how I made the band. So just take your yarn, after you cut off, just take your yarn, and then you are going to make a slip knot and make a number of chains to secure your coverage. So I'm going to make a number of 20 chains or however chains you made, and then you are going to yarn over, insert into the third space, pull through. When you have 3 on the hook, this time you are going to pull through all 3 loops. So that's how to do a half double crochet, and then we are going to put a half double crochet in all the chain spaces till you get to the end of the row. So that's the basic repetition for the stitch. You just yarn over, insert, pull through. When you have 3 on the hook, pull through all 3 loops. Just half double crochet till you get to the end of the row, and I'll teach you the next step. So at the end of the row, when you are done with your half double crochets, you just chain up 1, turn over. The chain 1 does not count as a stitch, and then you are going to do your very first half back loop, half double crochet on the back loop of the stitch. So you realize that there are 2 loops, the front one and the back one. Turn it in such a way that it's facing you. Insert your hook in the back loop. When you have 3 on the hook, you pull through all 3 loops. Again, yarn over, insert your hook on the back loop. You have 3 loops, you pull through all 3 loops. So you are going to do back loops, half double crochet till you get to the end of the row. Just make sure you target your back loops only to create the stretchy effect for the top. So that's how you get the stretchy effect in such a way that you can stretch it to cover the back portion. So you realize that when I placed it on the dummy, it covers a lot of skin, you understand. So it becomes like a tank top like feature instead of a bralette feature that shows a lot of back. That's the effect we need for this top, because actually we need to rock it. Some people are not really comfortable with their back showing, so you make sure that you make a number of rows for your horizontal coverage. So it's going to cover under your breast to your belly button, but make sure that you work your rows in order to cover up to your back sector. So that's why I'm doing the back loops half double crochet, and I hope you love it. I've used it for a lot of tutorials as well. So after you are done with your second row, you are going to do your basic repetition. This time you are going to repeat the same as row 2, which is half double crochet at the back loop. So you just make sure you look for your back loops and you are done. But if you prefer the regular half double crochet, you can still go ahead, but I prefer the stretchy effect. So I'm just going to do my half double crochets in the back loop, and it depends on how you want your coverage. You can make it croppy because maybe you like it more croppy, but mine was a little bit thicker, the original one. It provides a lot of coverage, so it's not like a crop type. So yes, that's how you are going to do the repetition for it to be stretchy. And I'll be leaving the extra information on the number of rows you need to make, or the number of rows I made for my original dress. So I'll meet you when I'm done. So yes, it's now time for the attachment for the band. First of all, you need to fold your band into 2, and you are going to fix your square bra caps. So I measured 5 inches off and I marked that place with a stitch marker. I marked both places, so you just insert your stitch markers on top of each. So you mark the other side and the one facing you as well. And then after that, you are going to fix your square bra caps on the rest of the stitches left. So I'm just going to use attach an extra yarn and then join it basically, as you can see. So that's how I'm going to attach mine. Basically, I'm going to show you a technique I use for my attachments. It's a pretty easy technique for you if you don't have a darning needle, instead of doing regular single crochet or slip stitch row. So yes, I'm just going to make sure I secure my square bra caps at both sides before I attach. So basically, after attaching my yarn secured, I just chain up 1. Let me turn this over for you to see directly. So I'm just going to chain up 1, slip stitch on the one facing me, the bra cap facing me, chain up 1, just insert my hook at the back portion of the band and then pull the yarn through that side. I hope you can see. I'm going to demonstrate it to you again. Chain 1, slip stitch on the bra cap, the square bra cap, chain 1 again, insert your hook on the band and pull it from the back. Chain 1, slip stitch on the bra cap, chain 1, insert your hook on the next space for your band and then pull to secure. So that's how I'm basically going to attach my square bra cap to the band. You chain 1, slip stitch into the space, chain 1, and then attach from the back of the band. That's how I'm going to attach my band and bra caps, because it allows flexibility. There's no, if you actually use only slip stitches, it becomes a little bit tighter, especially if you are an absolute beginner. It becomes a little bit tighter for you and it becomes obvious that you have joined it. But if you use this technique, it becomes a little bit flexible, so it doesn't become really tight and really obvious that you have joined it with slip stitch. So I just prefer this way, but you can go ahead and single crochet or slip stitch if you do prefer. All you have to do is chain 1, slip stitch on the square bra cup, chain 1, and just insert the hook from the back of the band and slip stitch. So I'm going to do my attachments. You realize that this is how the texture is going to look like for the back, which makes it a little bit flexible. I'm going to attach and then go ahead and attach the other side as well. Make sure that you attach it the right way so that one side does not become bigger than the other. So I'll meet you when I'm done. So I'm done with my attachment. This is how my top is looking so far, and this is how the attachments looked. You see, it's a little bit flexible. It doesn't look obvious that I have attached because of the method. So now I'm going to make my straps, and then the edging for the down detail is just the same shell edging we made for the square bra top. So we are going to attach at the edge of my band and make a demonstration of how I made the shell bra top, but it's the same thing I made for the square bra top, the square bra cap. So I'm just going to make a slip knot and attach at the edge of the bottom of the band, chain up 3, put a double crochet in the next and the following stitch, chain up 2, skip the next 2 spaces you find and put a double crochet in the third, the following, and the next and the following. So that's the basic technique we are doing. You are just chaining up 2, making a cluster of 3 double crochets, chain up 2, skip 2 spaces and make your cluster of 3 double crochets. And that's how the basic repetition is going to be, just like how we did for the bra cups. So I'll meet you when I'm done, and then we begin the next row. So for the next row, I'm going to do the same exact repetition for the square bra tops. So what you are going to do is to turn over your work and single crochet in the same exact space. So just put your single crochet in the same exact space. Put a total of, sorry, I made a mistake here. So you are just going to move directly into the following space, just like how we did. Put a total of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in that same exact space, just like how we made for the squares. So after you do this, you chain up a total of 3, single crochet in the next space, chain up 3 again, and then move directly into the following space with a total of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So you chain up your 3, do your total of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in the following space. So that's how the basic repetition is going to be, just like the same, just like how we did for the bra cups. Just do your total of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 3, single crochet in the following space, chain 3, and do the basic repetition. So I'll meet you when I'm done, when I'm at the end of the row, and I'll show you what to do for the next row, which is the same repetition as how we did around the square bra cups. So after my repetition, this is how my work is looking so far. Isn't it cute? So we are going to move to row 3 for the lace design, and it's the same repetition as how we did for the square, but I'm still going to demonstrate. So I'm going to chain up 3 and do a total of 6 double crochets in the chain 2s, separating the 3 double crochets. After doing this, you chain up a total of 3 and single crochet on top of the single crochet from the previous row, so the one separating the chain 3s, and then you chain up 3 and do your total of 6 double crochets in the middle of the shell. So that's the basic repetition for this design, just like how we did for the square, for the design for the square. So now for the final row where we are going to do the picot edging, we are going to chain up, you are going to turn over your work, chain up a total of 3. So 1 2 3, and then you put a double crochet, skip the next stitch, put a double crochet into the following. So just like this, chain up a total of 3, single crochet into the seam space, directly go on top of the next double crochet and put a double crochet there, chain 1 and double crochet in the next stitch, and then you chain up a total of 3. So 1 2 3, you single crochet in the same exact space to create the picot edging, move directly on top of the next double crochet and put a double crochet there, chain up 1, put your final double crochet there, chain up a total of 3 and put your single crochet on top to create the picot edging. As I told you, each shell has a total of 3 picot edgings. So after that, you chain up 3, single crochet on top of that single crochet from the previous row, chain up 3 again, put a double crochet, skip the next stitch and put a double crochet into the following stitch. So that's how the basic repetition is going to be. You make sure that you have 3 picot edging on top of every shell, and you just double crochet, single crochet on top, chain 3, single crochet on top to create a picot edging, move directly on top of the following, double crochet, chain 1 again, put your double crochet into the next, chain up 3, single crochet on top to create the picot edging, move directly on top of the next double crochet and double crochet, chain 1 and put your final double crochet there, and then you chain up 3 and single crochet on top of the stitch to create the picot edging. So that's how the basic repetition is going to be, just like how we repeated for the square bra cup. So I'll leave you to observe and then I'll show you what to do next after we complete this row. So the next step is to create the spaces where you are going to put the straps. So you basically make a slip knot and attach to where your shell design was, or you can, when you are done with your shell design, you can just continue. So you are just going to single crochet till you meet the band itself. So as you can see, I hope you can see this clearly, we are meeting the band itself. So you're going to put your single crochet there. So I think you place a total of 6 single crochets, and after that you chain up 3, you chain up 5, sorry, you skip the next 3 stitches and single crochet into the 4th. So you put a single crochet into the next space again, and then you chain up your 5 again to create the space. So you are just basically creating the space. That's how I create my spaces for my tops. It depends on how you want it, but it's essential for you to create a space where you are going to put your straps. So you just chain up 5, skip the next 2 or skip the next 3 spaces and single crochet into the 4th, and then you single crochet into the following, you chain up 5 again, and then you just do the basic repetition for that nice opening you can see right now. So that when you are done with your straps, it becomes easy. You are going to do the same exact thing vertically for the other side as well, so that it becomes easy. After that, you single crochet towards horizontally towards the side and then towards the edge of the bra cup till you meet that part. So I single crocheted all along after I created my spaces for the straps and towards the bra cup. It's now time for me to make a very long chain. We are going to make a long and thick chain which will go at your back. As you saw from the beginning of the video, you can go rewind and watch, but you are going to make a basic chain enough for you to tie at your back and since the back should provide much coverage, you still have a long strap at your back, which is very cool. So I made a total of about 500 chains. It depends on what you want, but mine was very long. That's how I prefer mine. I know a lot of you people might be lazy to make very long straps, but it's worth it. So you yarn over, insert your hook into the third space and do a half double crochet there. After that, you put a half double crochet in each chain space that you just made till you get to the end. It's going to be a very tedious process, so I'm going to finish it behind the scenes and meet you when I'm done. This is to make the straps very thick for you so that it becomes much more pleasant and much more nicer. So yes, just do this and I'll meet you when I'm done. We are also going to attach at the other side. As I told you, you are going to create the opening for the straps and also create the same thick straps for the other side. So this is how your project should look after you are done with your straps and half double crocheting back. This is how the edging is looking so far. Like, isn't it cute? Isn't it beautiful? I just love this top because it provides more coverage, and if a client wants something that provides a top that provides more coverage, I think this is the best option you can go for the clients. This top, as I told you, was inspired by Legends Couture, so you can still check the description to visit their Instagram link as well. Please tag me in your posts if you make this beautiful top, and also don't forget to subscribe, turn on your post notification so you don't miss out on any of my videos. I want to show you how the back is. This is how I laced the back, and I just love how it is. It provides better coverage. You can lace it however you want. And so until next time, stay safe and keep watching my tutorials. Bye bye.